Your participation is important.
Hi, hello, good morning, and welcome to yet another edition of The Burning Issue here on the Happy World of 5 FM radio on 89.9 in Lusaka and the surrounding areas. Remember, we are also live on our partner radio stations. We are live on Katete FM, and Katete FM is in Katete, covering literally the entire Eastern Province. We are grateful for that, and Katete FM is on 103.3 FM. Also live on Spice FM in Kabwe, covering the rest of Central Province on 91.1 FM. And also, not forgetting, we are live on ZFM in Kapiri, 100.3 FM, Platinum Radio in Indola, covering the rest of the Copper Belt on 99.7 FM. And also, not forgetting iWave FM radio in Chingola on 90.1 FM, and equally covering the rest of the Copper Belt. We are also live on Tuta FM in Mansa and covering Wapula Province on 90.7 FM. Now, also, don't forget, we are live on Isunga Radio, that is on 88.3 in the Northern Province. And of course, Isunga Radio, our new partner of the Burning Issue. We are very grateful, and of course, we glad to hear from the people of Isung of Northern FM, and not forgetting 88.1 FM, that is in Chinsali, covering the rest of Muchinga Province. And I'm your host, Zachariah Banda, here on 89.9. And don't forget, we are also live on our Facebook page as well as our YouTube channel. Both are going by the name 5FM Radio Zambia. All right. Now, remember, our advertisement since yesterday was that today's burning issue, we were scheduled to host Mr. Max Simue, who is the UPND media director. And news reaching us at the 11th hour, he was unable to be in attendance or indeed to feature on this particular episode of the Burning Issue. However, in his place, another UPND official has come through to obviously represent Mr. Max Muye himself and also the UPND. So in studio with me this morning is Mr. Kelvin Tabula Chifokolo, who is the UPND National Media Team member, and he is the coordinator in the media team for radio and television. We are grateful to have you this morning, and welcome to this particular edition of the Burning Issue, Mr. Chifokolo.
Thank you so much, Zach, and thank you for hosting us this morning. Indeed, like you've mentioned in your preamble, my director, media team director, Max Moore, was scheduled to feature on this important program to speak to our people, to speak to Zambians. But indeed, like you said, at the 11th hour, other duties. But as a media team and as a governing political party, we thought it wise. We will be doing a disservice, first of all, to 5FM, and we'll be doing a disservice to the nation at large if we don't feature on this important program. And so here we are, here on behalf of my boss, who is the media team director, Mr. Max Moore, and looking forward to productive engagement with you, Zach, and with our listeners out there on a number of platforms, on a number of radio stations, as well as those that are joining us on Facebook page. Drop your comments, your messages, and if time allows, we'll be able to respond to those questions or concerns that our people are having. But I'm grateful to be here.
Great. Now, I know that right now, everything, the mood politically in the country is geared for elections. And I think you can feel it, that we are having a lot of political parties talking about how they intend to challenge the UPND in 2026. We also have a number of entrants in the political arena, the likes of John Sang, and now it's a combination of John Sangwa State Council and Madame Dorika Banda, which is obviously a latest announcement that we've heard that the two have decided to join forces to obviously participate in future elections and most likely in 2026. Now, having spoken to the fact that the political environment in this country already has started gaining momentum and it's kind of tense, how is the UPND managing the tension?
Thank you so much, Zach. And thank you so much for that important question. First of all, the coming up of these new political parties, people that are coming from the professional background, the academia, wanting to lead the country or participating in politics, it is a welcome move. And it goes to affirm that indeed Zambia is a democracy where political parties are allowed, where individuals are free to associate themselves with their political party of choice. So that goes to affirm that indeed the democracy in Zambia is growing. I don't want to give examples of or mention names of countries who are having problems when it comes to issues of elections, where I know, Zach, you've heard in another country we are told now it is only the incumbent, the rest are ineligible to stand. You've seen in other countries where at the last hour you are told the main opposition is not eligible to contest. But ours here, we have different political parties, even young people offering themselves for to stand as leaders. And so we have already reached that mark, or we have entered that phase where it is now politics. The opposition are playing their politics. The opposition are having meetings each and every day. When you go to social media, you see this particular leader of this opposition has met this one, or they had a meeting talking about 2026, how they want to unseat UPND. We are able to see, we are monitoring, and we are able to evaluate what these people are bringing on the table. And it is up to the Zambian people to check the coming together of these people. What is it that they want to offer to this to the nation of Zambia? What is it that they're bringing on the table? What new ideas? What is it that they want to do in the education sector? Our president and even us in the UPND, we have challenged, our colleagues in the opposition. Say, can you bring your ideas on the table? For example, when we are campaigning prior to 2021, we told the Zambian people that it is possible to have free education up to grade 12 level. Others thought it was a dream. Others thought it was a wishful thinking. Today, as we speak, Zach, over 2 million learners are back in schools as we speak, because of the reintroduction of free education. So we challenge the opposition. What are your plans in the education sector? Even us, when we were in the opposition, we talked about the teacher-pupil ratio. We lamented about that because classes were overcrowded. And we talked about how do we bridge that gap? How do we respond to the teacher-pupil ratio? That is why you saw for the first time in the history of Zambia, over 30,000 teachers being recruited at a go. What is it that was there? Was to respond to the teacher-pupil ratio. And I know that numbers are still high, in some classes or in some schools. And that is why you've seen the government, from the time that we formed government has continued to recruit teachers. What is the message of the opposition in the education sector? You can talk about the health sector as well. Zach, we only had one cancer disease hospital right here in Lusaka, the capital city. President Ichirema said, no. We also have people that are battling with cancer in the northern part of India. We have our people who are battling with cancer in the southern part of Zambia. There is no way that when somebody has been diagnosed to have cancer, the destination has to be Lusaka. Some don't even have relatives in Lusaka. So you're asking people to leave Chitulika, you're asking people to leave Magandanyama, you're asking people to see Mamba, to leave Mamba, come to Lusaka, relocate to Lusaka, and start nursing that patient. What is it that the government is doing? We said, no, let us construct cancer disease hospital in these other provinces. So what is it that the opposition is bringing on the table in terms of the health sector? We have talked about recruitment of health personnel. For the first time again, Mazak, in the history of Zambia, at a go, over 11,000 health workers being recruited. So the coming together of the opposition, it is a welcome move, and let them give us that competition by bringing, their ideas on the table to say, this is what we want to do in the health sector. This is what we want to do in the education sector. And Zambians will be able to gauge what is it. Is this a good proposal? Others have said they are going to scrap off the free education because it is not quality. That is the idea. That once they form government, free education will be scrapped off because it is not quality. Accommodation at universities, that has been a thorn issue today. Campus, Kuja Road ya Nyowani, ya Minister Demarcate. Look at those hostels. Today, when you go to Ridgeway, mukapitila kuja ku court side, ku magistrate, look at the progress that is being made. This is what the president and the UPND are doing in the education sector. So let them come together and tell the Zambian people what they want to offer. Already, Zambians have tasted something. They are able to see what President Hakainde Hichilema and UPND have brought on the table.
And also, it's the same opposition that are telling you, the ruling party, that look, in your campaigns or indeed in your articulation of issues that, or indeed development that you've brought about, do not point at the opposition as to what they bring into the table. But of course, they are saying your biggest opposition is the people of Zambia, who instead are the ones that are actually feeling the pinch of hardships under the UPND. And of course, the hardship that they keep talking about is the cost of living.
Thank you so much, Zach. And when you were asking that question, I was smiling because I'm able to recall what some opposition have said in the public, that we are speaking on behalf of you Zambians. So when you see us being taken to court or jail, it's because we are speaking on your behalf. The same mouth of the opposition comes back and say, no, don't concentrate on us. Respond to the high cost of living, which is affecting Zambians. No, you keep on saying you don't have the opposition, but Zambians are the biggest opposition. And we've accepted to say, yes, Zambians are the biggest opposition. For President Hakainde Hichilema to be in State House today, it is because Zambians voted. For us to have cabinet ministers and members of parliament, it is because Zambians voted. So if today they decide to say they are not going to, we agree, they are the opposition. You've talked about the high cost of living. Zach, President Hakainde Hichilema is not mute. He has never been mute to the issues of high cost of living, which is affecting majority Zambians today. Members from the UPND have not given this issue a blind eye. Members of the UPND have never mocked the Zambian people who are complaining about the high cost of living. High cost of living was Zaki. See Sanka that because Zach is an interview on 5FM, then is not affected. High cost of living, see Sanka, that because it is Chifokolo, is coming from the UPND, then is not affected. It is same with road shedding. We don't have houses or compounds for the UPND who are having an interrupted power supply, and the compounds for the opposition who are being affected with road shedding. The president has acknowledged. First of all, when we had the drought, the price of minimum started skyrocketing. Some Zambians, some foreigners were into smuggling. The government moved in and said, we cannot afford doing this. That is how ZNS came on board. When other brands were selling mini meal at 380, in some places at 400, government came in, the caring government, to say, our people cannot afford. ZNS, can you come in? Lieutenant General Maliti Solochi and the team moved in, started producing Eagles mini meal, which was being sold at 230. And we told the Zambian people that here it is. As things are not okay, the drought that we faced, but we are not going to sit idle and watch our people suffering. Kalonga, Zambia Correctional Service, came in with Kalonga mini meal. Again, 230. At least our people were able to afford here and there, although that price of 230 was still high. Then the president called on all of us that let us involve ourselves into farming. We produce even at a household level for consumption. And that is why even when the marketing season was opened or announced by FRA, you saw some leaders in UPND, some leaders in government asking individuals that before you sell your maize or your produce to FRA, look at your household level, consumption at a household level. Are you food secure? Then after that, that is when you can sell to FRA. But Zach, I featured on 5FM. The last time that I was here, we received calls from Eastern Province. People were saying, chimanga chizaonongeka. Auze na Ruben Mutoro Piri, na wa FRA atiguleko chimanga tirinacho nchambiri. People are able to sell. Meaning that the message of the president of going back to the land and making sure that pamene wanghala nai wanghala kona kamunda, you produce something even at a household level or you sell to government or FRA, that message was heeded to by our people. And as we speak, imwenaine tiri mu Lusaka wazaki ndisamenti kali kudandala pa high cost of living when it comes to mini meal. But our relatives, our people in some parts of the country, those that cultivated, are able to take their own chimanga kuchigayo, no pito kagaisa, abwela panyumba, azidi anavana. But we are not saying that is the answer. We are saying, let us come together. Let us continue holding hands together and see how we can alleviate the poverty and respond to the high cost of living. Today, as we speak, I remember when the Minister of Energy featured on one TV station, he talked about 10 hours of power in some compounds. He was squeezed and people laughed at him to say, you are lying. Today, Zach, there are people that are able to confirm what the minister talked about. That indeed there are compounds within Lusaka where people are having uninterrupted power supply of 10 hours. What does it entail? Because we have our brothers who are having saloons, we have our barber shops, our sisters who are having saloons, we have our brothers to metal fabrication, small and medium enterprises. I keep on saying, for the first time in the history of Zambia, you have a president acknowledged and realized the potential that lies with the small and medium enterprises. That is why you have got the ministry in charge. And so the president has kept on saying, these are people that are contributing to the well-being of the economy, the growth of the economy, and we need to find ways on how to mitigate the challenges that they are facing. That is why in our compound, in some compounds, our people are given 10 hours of uninterrupted power supply so that baweoda wakwanise kushokerera wiribala, so that dofremu wakwanise kupanga. Pamene bapanga, umuntu ngaisa mkushita dofremu, atema window frame, wirubala. At least akwata kwa akalusango, akwata kwa kamane, alisha family yakwe, ashitana contribute to the nation. uja wa baba shop angaleko na maclient abwere agerese sisi wakageresa is having something, is able to rent to pay that shop, is able to take is able to pay 1 or 2 bills. That is what this government is saying, and we're saying it is not enough. The issue of load shedding has affected everyone, and I remember, Zach, even in the where people would say mukagwira kumalaiti phones, they'll say mukagwira ku transport issues of fuel nishimagwira ku phones, because someone was even saying, I was shocked that a woman kwa mtanda wantu aleta tomato yodula kumfunsa akamba kuti transport box na kwezeka yodula lero. So when you touch these sectors, you are touching the high cost of living and people are being affected. That is why there are a number of projects that have been initiated by the government to make sure that we respond to the high cost of living. So this government, this President Againde Chilema and his cabinet, including UPND members, are having sleepless nights to make sure that we respond to this elephant in the room, which is affecting majority Zambians, an elephant called high cost of living.
Interesting, because also, let me point out an item I think that is that is in public domain, where the head of state, President Hakainde Hichilema, actually was on record asking a big question, where those Zambian citizens who are saying the cost of living was better before the UPND came into office, where they live. Okay, and that is not accepting that there's a high cost of living. That is basically saying, where do you live where you have cost of living which we can't see? In short,
Zach, I think when the president was saying that, I was there. If I'm not mistaken, he said that when he officiated at the mining in Saka, 2025 mining in Saka. And some people have been saying things are in Zambia compared to the previous administration.
Is that not true?
That is very far from the truth. That is why some
and the comparison is basically on high cost of living, price differentiation. For example, they will tell you at what price did you find the fuel? You know, it's double or triple what you found.
Yes.
What price was the millimil?
Yes.
It's double what you found, and they are defending themselves based on these things. So, I mean, if they can use the price difference to back up their statements that yes, indeed, things were better than they are now, I mean, you can't argue that.
We continue to argue on that one, Mazaki, because this question that you've asked, even when you open the phone line, you hear people, and I'm going to use that statement, you hear people saying, don't compare the PF with the UPND. There are people that are listening today, right now, to this program. They will tell you, stop comparing. Just wait. But it is okay for the opposition and others to compare us with the PF. And when we try to defend and compare, because it is them that are bringing these comparisons. And so when we bring these comparisons, because people say, stop comparing yourselves with the PF. Akubombenifi. Balista reject wa PF wabika kwa UPND. Ichenu kubomba. Kubomba kumi ichenu just work and deliver. Don't compare. But it was like, how do we progress if you ask us and we try to bring facts to the table and show you how things were in the previous administration, you become agitated. How? Then tukaleke nokuberenga Bible. Because mchipingo, it talks even about years. Shani 1,000 years ago, kwalifia so, tulaberenga na lelo. We are told the devil, what Jesus after fasting was tested. So. We are told and we read and to bring that into modern day life. President was talking about the mining sector. But Zach, it is not a notorious fact that the mining sector on the Copper Belt was dead. KCM, Mopani, those mines were dead. Today, as we speak, it is a different story. So when someone comes here and talks about the mining sector, that it was better in the previous administration, we are able to compare. That is why this government has even gone ahead to even resuscitate some mines that were closed in the 70s, in the 90s. You can talk about Shaft 28. The hardworking minister for Copperbelt Province, Elisha Matambo, toured that facility, that mine. Babakopa balenda pa mine pa mukoti mwabula menshi because water has been pumped out. The process is unfolding each and every day. You go to my relatives Karengwa mine, a mine that was closed in the 70s. Today, Karengwa is back. So when someone comes here and talks about the mining sector, that it was better in the previous administration, we argue. Prices Wazaki will keep on rising. Again, when they say in the previous administration, this was the price for mealie meal, this was the price for cooking oil, this was the price for sugar, this was the fares that people were paying in terms of transport. We can go back to the MMD. When the PF took over from the MMD in 2011, after defeating the late Rupiah and Banda, we begin to compare what was the price for a 25 kg bag of mealie meal in the MMD. At which price did the PF took over? And how did they leave it in 2021 when they were leaving office? The price for cooking oil. How much were Zambians buying a 5 liters of cooking oil prior to 2011? And the 10 years of the PF up to 2021, what was the difference there? You've talked about fuel. Again, we can go back and compare. When the MMD were leaving office in 2011, what was the price for fuel? When the PF took over from 2011 to 2021, what was the price difference? Where did they leave it? And where is the UPND? Today, Wazaki, I will tell you that when Rupiah and Banda was leaving office, a kwacha to $1 was at 5. The 10 years of the PF, they left it at 21. Kwacha to $1. The 4 years, getting into 5 years of the UPND, where is the kwacha to $1? If indeed you want to compare, these are the questions that we ask. And denting the image of Zambia to the outside world, that things are bad, that there is dictatorship in Zambia. Wazaki, you've traveled. Where there is dictatorship, you've heard in some countries. The rest, here you've talked about the coming together of, that is what you've, John Nadolika, Wapanga Chokosa, where there is dictatorship, you are able, you are each and every day that passes, Sebastian Copeland announced that he's standing as a presidential candidate. Wamayo, Wachiengi member of parliament, Given Katut, announced that she's standing in 2026. My good brother, my namesake, Kelvin announced that he's standing. But Binweo is busy mobilizing. He has announced that he's standing. Before the program, we were talking about Wanjovu. Wanjovu has announced that he's standing. Wazak, in a dictatorship, a country that is practicing dictatorship and not allowing divergent views and the other opposition to mobilize, are you sure you can be having week in, week out of people announcing that they are standing? Of course, people will talk about people being jailed. Baba, Zambia is not a banana republic. Zambia is governed by laws. Everyone who finds himself or herself on the other side of the law will visit you. The law is blind. It is visiting members that are in UPND, members that are in the opposition. Because if you continue complaining that Mleka Kava Nenu, check if you're balandide. The other day, I saw my good elder brother, whose sentence was upheld by the High Court, and he said something that I have kept to say. He was very happy that he was being taken to prison. That he was very, very happy that he was being taken to prison. Not that I'm wishing my brother bad, but I'll tell you that it's very common. Bazaki munapitako mkumboni munamverako muntu wamugwira akaenda ngati nku prison vamasevinga paka achoka kulibe kudwala. But with us politicians wakanigwira 1 week or 2 weeks uzamvera sugar levels are high, iya chilonda cha ukatende ukuchinayamba, iya panimvera kakonyokonyo apa kanzivika munga kanyereza niperekeni kuchipatala, and others will begin to no uyu muntu nodwala mperekeni kuchipatala. Nanga waja mkombo ndano amina mawakambirako that they should be taken to chipatala. Those, and I pray that my brother will not be saying, BP is high, sugar levels are high, and he needs to seek medical attention. So those that are being jailed, remember he said he was zooming when he was coming from somewhere. Then he saw judges being summoned by President Hakainde Hichilema so that they should be given what to do. Say, ichi muchiteso, ichi muchiteso. When he was caught, the beauty about our police or our court is that Zaki, if I say Zaki anachitava so na so na so, they will invite me. Chifokolo, give us evidence. Titandize koziva wakamba kuti Zaki anachita safu niko chita mziko lato. So titandizire wendi umboni, leta umboni pa tebulo. When I fail to back up my allegation with evidence and then I'm taken in, should I start calling my relatives from Banda Yejim, from Mavunda in Ikereng? I start calling people from Nyalwana, Kampe ukasempako okwa, amba iya ikuno kulusaka mambo wa Chifokolo wajimukarea. Back up your allegation with evidence. Once you do that, you'll be let scot-free. But if you are going to be maligning people and accusing people falsely, you are called to say, give us evidence, you fail, you are sentenced, people should come and cry on your behalf. I think I don't want to be part of that.
I think some of the dictatorial tendencies that are being referred on this government of the UPND are the hunger for the amendment of the Constitution. Is one of the issues that have been brought out, that what's the hurry? And the hurry has been on suspicion that this government obviously wants to bulldoze the 2026 elections, and that they should probably change the Constitution to suit the incumbent.
Vazaki, again, that is an issue that the opposition is running with. And some people, you see, the problem that I have in this country is that we have reached at a level where we defend people because we love them. We don't defend because of principle. We don't defend because of what is being laid on the table. Because na alibati mwa Bazaki. Because Bazaki na abalanda. I don't even have time. What Bazaki balandire. Nga Bazaki balanda tukulimpepo. Inendi munganda. Vena na abaya ku 5 FM. And then balando ko bati whether papa tairi bwino nga ulefu mamunganda ofumene champepo. I won't even verify because na alibati mwa Bazaki whether balebe pa whether chishinka I'll leave my house with a chikot or with a jacket only to discover that it is very hot. But if Zambians will begin to take time and look at what the opposition is presenting, read it through, you discover that it's far from it. You've talked about Bill 7, that this government is rushing in amending the Constitution, and the belief that is there is that we want to bulldoze the 2026 general elections. Wazaki na muberenga, na mona, what is being proposed is saying somebody to be appointed as secretary to the cabinet, they should not wait for 10 years as qualification. Let it be 5 years. How do you tie that to elections? If they say we want to define who a child is, we want to have clear definition of mwana ni ndani. You tie it to elections. Of course, there are some clauses that deal with the elections. And there are people with progressive mind who have said, this is the way to go. Wazaki, in the current constitution, if you and I maybe na Mkandawire, na Balansi, we are competing. We file in nominations. Then you as Zach decide, say, I think na Mvera Linso, yamba kubaba sinza pitiliza ma campaign. Nishkwasana na 1 month to vote. You decide, say, I'm pulling out of this race. The current constitution mandates ECZ to cancel the campaigns of the elections and call for fresh nominations. Meaning is that we have to start afresh, pay nomination fees, fund our campaigns. And that we've said it is a drain. People that have participated in elections where somebody has put out, they will tell you, go to Chawama, ask those that contested and what they went through when the elections were called off, when they were cancelled. Go to Kabwata, ask the likes of Taengwa and others that lost when a Clement Tembo, ask them, how did you feel when you heard that this candidate from UPP has pulled out of the race? And the ECZ called you, say, okay, because these elections have been cancelled. It is a bad piece of legislation. We have to respond to it. If indeed, Zach, there are constituencies that you visited, one ward is equal to Munali constituency. One ward is equal to Kanyama, the entire Kanyama, Omoya Pereira, Niwadimu. And that constituency has got, for example, Kasempa, 31 wards. One ward is compared to Munali constituency. Mwenyurunga, 21 wards. One ward is compared to Lusaka Central. The same amount of CDF or Chawama is receiving the same amount with the Kembe with the Kanchivia constituency. 4 traditional leaders gazetted bashamfuma bali 4 mu constituency mo. And then you are told in the CDF there is a component ya kukulira bashamfuma mayanda. Umunenu constituency yakwe alikwata bashamfumu 4. And then we say, okay, let us do delimitation. At least na bena bakwateko uluvali CDF ile babombera bakwateko at least na bena okulanda ko bati okay mu constituency mu yesu alikwata fe bashamfumu babiri tumwa batatu, and in here CDF is, that is a progressive idea. How do you tie it that it will favor the UPND to bulldoze the elections? Actually, they are members of the opposition and the Bashamfumu who have said this is the way to go. We want these constituencies to be cut so that our people can also enjoy the issue of CDF. And others, when we started Bazaki, people are saying the limitation will be concentrated on the UPND strongholds. That uko abama MPs ayengi aba UPND eko bakaposera sana mano nokusta delimitate atema uko akanya ama constituencies. When you go back to ECZ and ask them, they will tell you that they are using the 2018 report on delimitation. A report was already in 2018. Who were in power? It was the PF. They conducted a survey, went around the country, looked at constituencies that are vast, gave a report to ECZ in 2018 that if we were to do delimitation, ama areas naya. Are you telling me that we PF nga ku southern province atema ku western no pito kakamba kuta yambiri ma constituency jubani yali ku southern ndiko amene kuli chani? The way we know our colleagues in PF. So this is again that is a lie that people have been peddling, that delimitation concentration will be only UPND stronghold. Far from it. It is the 2018 report that ECZ will use to do delimitation in constituencies. That is why I've told you that Ibashamfumu in different
and that's
areas.
The report that has never been made public.
That is a report that has never been made public. But if you ask the PF, they will tell you that they saw the 2018 report. Even them, when they're arguing, when you tell them, say, actually, ECZ is saying,
why wouldn't the UP government publish it?
Wow, the media team have said it is in public domain. You can even go to ECZ, ask them, they will be able to furnish you that information. If our colleagues who have been lying to the Zambian people that they want to bulldoze the 2026 bringing these amendments, we've talked about the delimitation issue, for example, itself, delimitation. How do we do with delimitation? The report is 2018 report. UPND has not tampered with that report. So how do you say it's going to favor the UPND? It will favor Zambians. It will favor people that are in constituencies that are too big and they are unable to see CDF and development because of the vastness. Do you know that in some areas, an MP will go to the constituency, maybe for a week, because constituency ni kulu. There are constituencies that kuliku valley na ku plateau, kuliku upper na kulower. By the time na mvula amene yambai, akali ku upper kuja kutapite kulower apeza kuti mimana za zula. A member of parliament will come back to Lusaka without visiting that area. When the president was handing over ambulances to constituencies, a member of parliament spoke on behalf of parliamentarians. And this is Honorable Menyani Zulu. What did he say? He said, Mr. President, we want to thank you that you've given Nyimba an ambulance. And that is why, Mr. President, we are still saying this issue of delimitation should work. Because in Nyimba, just Nyimba constituency, the ambulance mwati pasa presidenti, kuti ichoke uku kuwadia uku, fika kuwadia uku, ni distance imozi yochoka kunyimba fika kulusaka. Ni distance imozi, kuti ambulance lipa mseu ya nyamuka, ichoka mulusaka, ipita kunyimba. Ambulance mwati pasa kuti ichoke kuwadi imozi ya munyimba, ipite kuwadi imozi, ni distance imozi imozi. That is an independent member of parliament who was PF. He applied to stand on PF, and when he was left out, he decided to go independent. And today is urging the president that, Mr. President, also enjoy the way our colleagues here in Lusaka, even on the Copper Belt, that you have Kabushi constituency, is not all that big. You've got Chifubu constituency, which is not all that big. Same allocation is given, ambulance is given, police vehicles same. Naifet yanganengon. So it is a lie that people want to use the Bill 7 that because UPND and President Againde Chilema want to put those. And for one information was like, now I know that Mulibakalamba, but because it has been used somewhere, Mulibakalamba. 1991 amended constitution was done in an election year, prior to elections. We have what we are calling 1996 election constitution amendment. What happened? People tell you we had Dini Mungomba. The constitution was amended in 1996. You had the NCZ, should be NCZ if I'm not mistaken, of Balevi, which even made some MPs to be called the rebels by the late Vasata. Proud to 2006 election. The 2016 amended constitution, where our former president said, I'll sign it with my eyes closed. And we saw a colorful event at Hero Stadium. He was clad in a white suit. He signed that constitution. In 2016 amended constitution. What happened in 2016? We had elections. Prior to 2021, have you forgotten that we had Bill 10? What was happening in 2021? We were going for elections. What is it that happened? It was defeated on the floor of the House. If they had numbers, today as we speak, Bill 10 would have been. So you amend in 2016, then you amend in 2020 and 2021. And no one wants to talk about the space. But those that amended, those that debated and allowed some clauses to be infused into our constitution in 2016, the amended constitution, are the ones that have come back and said, no, I think this one is a very bad clause. We need to harmonize this one. This one, no, we need to amend this one. And today people want to talk about, we are not voting in 2025. Elections will be in 2026. and I've given you a preamble, or I've given you where we are coming from and how constitutions have been amended. If you read through the amendments that are being proposed, you discover that actually the opposition has been lying to the Zambian people. Far from it, and it is a very good and these are very good and progressive amendments which government wants to do on behalf of the Zambian people. You've got a listening president. People said no, consultations were not done. What did the president do? He directed the minister, put it on hold. We want to consult. You saw this month members of that committee being sworn in. That is a listening government, a listening president. And if you look at people that have been appointed, people that were sworn in to sit in that committee, are people from different backgrounds. You've got the mixture of the academia, people from the faith-based organization, you've got senior citizens there, and you've got people like, I will say, Ges Nyerenda, people like Mr. Mwanza. I will say these are in my generation. And they are there looking at
But
this.
if he's a listening president, how come he's not listened to the call that maybe let the elections pass and amend the constitution after? That's a general call, by the way.
This is a general call. Why should we suspend it not until we have elections? People should be able to give us reasons. But I'll tell you, Zach, that where I'm seated, I have followed this debate. People are not giving reasons why we should vote it, not until after we vote in 2026. No wonder I've demonstrated that you've got a listening president.
It would probably be the best way to show the general public that you have no hidden agenda whatsoever. Well, because you are saying, fine, we'll go into this election without an amended constitution, just so that I show you that there are no hidden agenda as you claim.
Like I've told you, there are no hidden agendas. That is why the president has been inviting people. Civil society organization, come, let us sit and discuss. And when they sat, what were the reasons? No, people were not consulted. That was the reason that was given. We need to consult people. Oh, we consult people. Time frame. Civil society organization told the president, this is the time frame. If we can use this time, we'll be able to consult people and we can amend. Oh, president, okay. As a listening president, okay. Go ahead. This is the committee. Please start consulting people.
Do you think with the time frame between now and May, and the reason I'm saying May is because the president will have to dissolve parliament at the time.
True.
And we're basically looking at between now and April, for example, this constitution definitely will have to be amended.
Yes.
Meaning it's not realistic that with the remaining months, all 10 provinces critically and allowing the masses to make submissions will be achieved.
Bazak, and even as we talk about amending the constitution,
if you say we're going to spend a month in a particular province because we need to get enough submissions, you don't even have that 10 months before elections, or before the assemblies, the National Assembly is dissolved.
Bazak, if I'm not mistaken, there are 13 areas or articles or clauses that are supposed to be amended. We are talking about 13 clauses to be amended. And when people talk about amending the constitution, it is not an overhaul. Bill 10, if I'm not mistaken, wanted to amend 78 clauses in Bill 10. That was almost more like an overhaul. Talk about consultation. I have told you that Bill 10 was only defeated on the floor of the House. And you had members of the parliament from PF saying we have numbers. Whether the UPND like it or not, Bill 10 is going through. We were told. Tell me the 78, the consultation that was done. Tell me on the 78. If you had meetings, town hall meetings in Bill 10, in discussing Bill 10, they went ahead. They were bulldozing. Even when members of parliament would argue on the floor of the house, we were told, no, you can't tell us anything. We have the numbers. And butane is going through. You can't tell us anything. We are going through. We are going ahead with this. That is the difference. With President Hakainde Hichilema seeking to amend 13, which are not all political. Civil society organization said we need to consult people. And it is 13. They discussed on the time frame. And President said, okay, as a listening president, this is a people's document. A committee is set up, sworn in. This is the work. Go ahead, consult people. Thereafter, we amend. Those that are saying it should wait after elections, let them give convincing reasons to the president, like the civil society organization gave the president to say, can it be halted? And the president halted the debate on Bill 7, not until consultations were done with civil society organizations. Thereafter, terms and references were drawn and people were sworn in, and today they are working. So this is a listening government, a caring president who knows that this constitution, it is a people's constitution, and it should speak to the agenda and the aspiration of the Zambian people. Let us define who a child is. Let us also see qualification to be appointed as secretary to the cabinet. Also, the Attorney General, the Solicitor General, a vacating office or their term being tied to the president, when we have others like secretary to the cabinet who are not tied to the president. Let us harmonize these issues. When you are in a campaign, somebody decides to pull out, what do you do? Mix. Let us discuss those issues. Even the opposition, that if you have mixed member proportional representation, you have representation in parliament. So it is not a bad or a bad bill the way people are portraying or putting it. They are not telling people the truth.
This is the Thursday edition of the Burning Issue, and my guest today is Kelvin Tabula Chifokolo, who is the UPND National Media Team member, and of course sitting in for the UPND Media Director in Max Mue, who should have been our guest this morning. And so we'll be taking your phone calls. And remember, before we do that, let me just give you a quick reminder that we are live also on our partner radio stations. We are live on Isunga Radio on 88.3 in Northern Province. And of course, we are live as well on Tuta FM in Mansa on 90.7 FM. We are live on Muchinga Radio on 88.1. And not forgetting also live on ZFM in Kapiri Mposhi on 100.3 FM. Copper Belt is well covered. We are live on Platinum Radio on 99.7 in Ndola, and of course iWave FM on 90.1 as well. Not forgetting Spice FM in Kabwe, covering the rest of the Central Province on 91.1. And we are also live here in Lusaka on 89.9 on 5FM radio. And not forgetting Katete FM in Katete on 103.3 FM, covering literally the entire Eastern Province. We are so grateful. And remember, we are live on our Facebook page as well. That's 5FM Radio Zambia. And the same on the YouTube channel. Now, we'll take your phone calls on 0955-221515. I'll also be looking at your comments on our Facebook page. Keep sending your comments. So let's first of all take this call. And good morning.
Uncle Zach.
Yes, Mr. Oswald. Good morning to you and welcome to the program.
Bunabwanji Oswald.
Yamena tu 7 yamena. Niba mtabu sana UPND. 7 mwidi ndikira panza nchitika. Already apa mara ikuri. Mutali kuzuri kudu 7. So kumara kusimunga ibada kuchebu 7. Dala fuko ku basawa ndo mzacha chana. Na muteko mafama za supply. Already mababa supply ku farai bukapo pasana ndra. Mutala biza du 7. Vini du 7 mchanga vina pisamu du 7. Vanamna mia du 7. Mara kuna mwanana ingira maindo sikisha na gwepo mbora. Mara chimka mbapo already mili zaki hapa mai naungamanya hapo msikamani matufi na tuski wambo kwera unga. Muri biza du 7. Sasa kwa vani mzati kwa nisako kila ntia voterani. makala kuandika na president kansi simafombera abantu bapate mwaka tibamo ko chita president mamuchi chibuse wachikana court kuja machibweza 40%.
Zikomo Oswald for that, and let's take some more on 0955-221515, and let's take this one. Good morning,
Uncle Zaki.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine. Mulenga the boys. But Chifokolo.
Wa Mulenga weso.
Muleto mina murusaka.
Bali murusaka ba Mulenga mkwai. Tabala ya kufamu.
Mkwai.
Bati wali senda fertilizer kwa bali tukera hivi. Turero la shoku mkujini.
Mkwai.
Muchibemba tulandi. So biuseve. Muchibemba tulandi achibugiro wikuitenga na wikuta chiwaya mukulala efoto chitanga na wikuta tura fast mukulala bati ngata wikuite kulolela mdala ipobala ishirawa fyashine fyakulya kwamba okuitika so biu7 tabalepetikisha omuntu awe mwene kweba kitachikwete nchito kuchireka abakwete nchito because ine na chinkwatira sana nchito olede bachiti mukulu apa baledanda olati ama MP Northern Party of Zambia tabale moneka umulandu wasima constitution nasikulisha balidandawula bachite mukulu lukwati mfintu fimbifila mfushane chifukushika tushinganishi muleba ko fair because nga mwalolesha kwati ntika yali kwata ama chief katushinga yali 4 ero mwise mbapele same amount 40 million na kabwata mule ya kwa chunda ponde kulya kwa umumwine mumfuwe mubapele same amount na munali yenu ishi nga mwaya kukanchilia mubapele same amount na constitution ili mulusaka nga mwaya kumalole kwa chief makasa mubapele same amount no uli na constituency ili mulusaka nichi mulife hapo nga mwaya kulukasha constituency mubapele same amount na constituency ili mulusaka nakatuba nga mwaya kukanchilia basande chanda bakweti ama chief abali 4 to 5 so mwise mbapele same amount na constituency ili mulusaka fair nishitamuli fair tuleni zizima constituency development rights because that's which the mwamona ama constituency
mashala na kashtaka nono sana wa Mlenga chiteni wind up. Well, we keep losing him. I think the line is getting worse by the time. But thank you very much. Let me see if I can give you another one. Of course, let me. Well, did we have a caller? All right. Let me see if I can pick another one on 0955-221515. And let's take this one. Good morning. Mkwai mabomba shani? Mkwai bana kaonga mayo.
Mkwai barishani mkwai.
Wena barishani mayo.
Wino chirembe baranda kwa bati wiro wiku takwa bati kutaine kuti nayalala teto bati bongia bati bap nomba udoni mensala are kala le dorena ifwe twali bensala that bati ndo kwa bati ubunga ba mji babushire parishinga bapie babushire parishinga bati la rondolola no, but then about the question solution. Mukumona kwa
bana kaonga mkwai.
Mkwai.
Mule kwati network ile luba nga mwasela. Mkwai turemi mfano.
Mataki kionza bibishi. Muli UPND na network yonzo na ijupira kumo. Kionza na kuchula. Mataki. Kile upita tati.
Pande umfa mkwai.
Bazaki abo bayitubita mukalyo mpi abo bazaki bena bayitutoku ikutabazaki kubi baya muntu ngo wayikutate kuishwa abantu baline isala bazaki abo bali kweza solution no mutengo balebika 250 fuel ekwacha bali mwena kwata bana zando balechula nomutengo balibikireku abo tekirero bese balesha mataba kubunga buli balishinga lero bazati kumwende korero wipushe mitengo bati lero nabamba okutwala amataba ku kyalo batara bayishire mupiye mumuteko batangire pampa besiri fulu bayishire bamba okushisha ekintu lero bese batumona iko kwati ndo tukweta amano ikesa afikenshita ifobale kwa balisala twalalolela aka 2026 tulina imwetai
Natasha Bana Kaonga Mkwai Kukabwe. And let me see if I can take some more on 0955-221515. That's the number you're calling us on. Good morning.
You can as well say, welcome to Lusaka. How are you, Lusaka?
I'm okay. Thank you very much for calling. How are you today?
The people of Ntumbachushi are with President HH because of what he has done in the education sector, in the agriculture sector. Everywhere you go, the name on the faces of the people is President HH. How are you in the studios there?
Fine, thank you, my brother. How are you?
I want to assure you that you and the UPND are bouncing back in 2026. Forget about the empty threats. You see, that's the problem we have in Lusaka. Lusaka is not Zambia, people, please. Lusaka is 10 provinces. President Hichilema has concentrated in the rural areas to finish poverty, to give an opportunity to a person who has never tasted education to taste education. Are you telling me those are tell people to vote him out? President Hichilema has concentrated in the rural areas where I'm coming from, Ntumbachushi, to see to it that all the Zambians have agriculture. They have where to farm. They are producing maize. They are producing cassava. Are you telling me all these people that will come and vote him out? Zambian people, let us be real. Because, you know, the problem I have with the opposition today is like, there's no message to tell the Zambian people. When you ask any opposition, tell them to say what is the message. And President HH has failed. How has it failed? They don't know how to explain. Tell them what is the solution that you come and give the Zambian people. They have no solution. And see, in their calling names of the UPND have concentrated in uniting the party, uniting the Zambian people, as they are singing songs to say, Bakesa Kimona, Bakesa Kimona, Abakesa Kimona, Bakesa Pitako Kekwa. Udare is a Mukuro Shakunuma, swearing in ceremony for Euro Stadium. Udare Shakunuma, Supreme Chief Justice now in the Bible, President HH now back at the second term. Nishani, na Pitakare. So we are appealing to the Zambian people whose children have benefited from free education from 1 to grade 12 to still support this president. Again, we are appealing to the Zambian people whose children have benefited from bursary to support this president. We are appealing to the students who have benefited from meal allowance, to see to it that you support this gallant soldier. We are appealing to a copper belt mines, those mines which were crossed, and see to it that President HH has reopened and given you back your jobs and put smiles to your faces. Still believe in him. Badi berero kuisana nikoti ngamara wesha ba PF na babambi bakesa nisa grama maini ayo. So yune isura maini. Believe in him. Give him an opportunity. Trust in him and see to it that he governs again. Given an opportunity for 10 years, President Hichilema is likely to turn this country into paradise. Even Dubai will be looking forward to Zambia for some other things because this president has believed the maturity, has demonstrated wisdom. The wisdom of HH can only be compared to Solomon in the Bible. This is what we have discovered as Zambian people.
Thank you, Rachumbatushi. Governor, thank you. Thank you very much for your comment and your contribution. Let me see if I can also give chance to others to contribute. Let me see if I can pick another one. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How are you today?
Yeah,
Your name, sir, and where are you calling us from?
This is just calling you from Osaka.
Your line is not clear. Your name again?
Yes, calling you from Osaka.
I can't get your name. Are you using a hands-free kit, no? Or you have us on speaker? We are struggling to get you right. Yeah, we're still struggling.
Hello?
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Okay, you said your name is?
My name is Gift Query, sir.
Gift.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Mr. Black.
Okay, good morning. Thank you. Please go ahead, Gift.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Kelvin. Sorry for using the case name, sir.
No, it's fine, Mr. Kwebisa.
Yes, sir. I'd just like to say one or two things concerning the Bill 10, that's the Bill 7 that we have, that you have alluded, and honestly speaking, Mr. Zach, you and I, we may understand the issue of Bill 7, but how are these people, like people who are in Shangombo, people who are in Temamulilo, people who are in these villages that don't understand what is alluded in Bill 7? Mm. And I had attended, there was a time when an MP they gathered concerning saying they were alluding Bill 7 to the society to find that people who were in the school, they were just, that was the common district, we were just people that you can count. Other people were trying to tell them concerning the issue of Bill 7. Even the English that is in there, they don't understand. I'm not against it, but it feels like they're in a rush with Bill 7 that they're trying to implement. And from Mr. Kelvin, me too, I'm UPND, but I would like to appreciate if we may stand up and make sure to tell the people the truth about Bill 7, saying that no, this is what is possible. Translate it in local languages. Let's put my books so that people should understand in local languages that it's not everyone who understands school. It's not everyone who reads. Not everyone. Other people, they only understand, saying that, okay, like the way politicians do. You find that when they go in society, they start to use English. They start using what? Vernacular language. So that for easier communication, why can't we utilize this century that we are having even right now? So that Bill 7 can be translated in local languages so that our people can really understand what is going on.
Thank you.
And
yes, that's all.
Yes, and just adding on, that's the other thing. The other thing that I wanted to say is Mr. Kelvin is trying to make this Bill 7 and Bill 10. It's more like you are trading between PF and UPND. Let's not forget that Zambia is not PF and UPND. Because I've heard anything that you are saying, we are referring back to what happened. We shouldn't refer back to what happened because we know that those things that happened in the past, it is wrong. Why are we to the things that we have already passed by, saying that no, the PF did it. The PF tried by all means to cover up our own what? Our own mess. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I really appreciate this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Gift. We appreciate as well for calling. Let me give you an opportunity to react to the various calls. I think I've gotten more than enough.
Thank you so much, Vazak. Yeah. And I want to appreciate the people that have managed to come through, those that have called. We've got Oswald, Mulenga, Havana Kaonga, Kabwe, Governor from Ntumba Chushi, and Kwibisa Gift. I will start with Gift Kwibisa. Vazak, I'm not a prophet, and I'm not a prophet of doom. But I told you that these comparisons, there are people that are listening and they will be agitated with the comparisons. But Kwibisa, I'm not comparing what we are doing with what the PF did. And if you listen to my submissions, when it comes to issues of comparisons, I'm not saying the PF did this, we are doing better. If people, Wakwibisa, you've said you're a UPND member, if people come to you and they tell you to say, you are rushing Bill 7, you've got a hidden agenda, you don't want to consult, Wakwibisa, is it wrong to say, because we have a listening president who halted the debate of Bill 7 on the floor of the House and asked for further consultation with his stakeholders? And it was not fashionable for our colleagues with Bill 10, even when people said, can you consult? They said, whether you like it or not, it is going through. I don't think that comparison is harmful. If they say these prices are very high and things were better under the previous administration, and bakuibisa, surely I come. They tell you, no, dola mwaikwezeka maningi mwa UPND simuzwa kusebenza. And I say, okay, checking mwainalili dola, pamene barupia banda wanali kuchoka hapo. The 10 years that the PF were in power, dola inasebenza bwanji. Wanaisiira party. Is that a bad comparison? We are not saying we've done everything perfect and better compared to the PF. No, Akwibisa. But they are just these comparisons which are unavoidable. If they tell you that Bill 7, 6, or the UPND wants to use Bill 7 to bulldoze the 2026 general elections, and you tell them, say, actually, in Bill 7, there's the issue of qualification secretary to the cabinet. How do you tie it to elections? If I say in Bill 7, there is an issue to define who a child is, the opposition wants to tie it to elections, and I give this comparison, I don't think it is a wrong thing. But I hear you on the issue of simplifying the Bill 7. Those talks were there, that we need to translate Bill 7 into local languages so that we speak to our people. And indeed, you saw Justice Minister, Honorable Princess Kasone. At one point, she even went around talking to people, having meetings. We saw the Speaker of the National Assembly meeting some leaders. What is it that people said? Mwamba kungenera manje mafumu, mwamba kutingenera manje mutifunsa, tinarikuza kuti mutifunse pa face mweze kufuna, manje wae mutifunsa hapa. Kubantu takuwa vechisuma. But we'll continue to make sure that we highlight these issues. So I agree with you. Governor Ntumbachushi, singakambe vambiri, already is appreciating what is able to see in rural parts of Zambia. But Zambia is not Lusaka. Lusaka is not Zambia. It's not Kitwe, Ndola, or Copper Belt. Zambia is made up of 10 provinces. You might be here, but the governor is able to tell you that go to Kanchivia. People will be able to point at projects that have been done through CDF. And even me, I've argued that even in Lusaka, we're able to see projects that have been done through CDF. I'll tell you, in Choston, in Chakunkula Ward, Kamanga area, the police post there was gutted. Today, as we speak, across the road, across the tarmac, pamene ujumpa kuchoka pamulanga kutungene mchoston, there is a newly built police post, CDF police. When you go to Kapwediomba, you discover that there are additional classrooms that are being built, courtesy of CDF. So I agree with you, Governor Ntumbachushi, that Lusaka is not Zambia, but we'll continue to make sure that we deliver to our people. Manakaonga, cost of living, and I want to thank Manakaonga. She's very consistent. And I don't know whether in slogan tukakumana pa ground. And I remember when I accompanied the National Youth Chairperson, she again raised the same issue, tukakumana pa ground. And the National Youth Chairman said, Manakaonga nilikudala pa ground. So Manakaonga, pa ground pava ama politics. Tukakumana pa ground, tulikumana pa ground, uko kukabweko mwava, doni mwenda aba pa ground. Wapesi chato baba pa ground. Wakrizosta pili baba pa ground. You are able to meet these members of UPND already on the ground, explaining issues to the people and also giving them the confidence that this opposition and others are lying to you. This is the true picture, and this is how things look. This is how things are looking like. So, Wanakaonga, I agree with you. Tukakumana pa ground, but already na tukumana pa ground. Let me respond to Oswald. Oswald seems to be in pain, and I understand. It is okay, because even Mulenga, the words that Oswald used, now Mulenga never come. That is the beauty about democracy. If Oswald never being on radio and bringing out these issues, ukutuma kwabo kwa phone, ukuirishanya kwabo, Mulenga nawe na chireba kalipa. When someone says the UPND has done nothing, and we have students at the higher learning institutions, universities, that are given meal allowances, that are given bursaries or loans, and they see somebody saying, abatapale fyo bachitire, na bena chireba kalipa. Somebody who didn't have, if a teacher who graduated, and because in the previously you have to know somebody and give like something for you to be employed, and here's a teacher who had no connections, they didn't know anyone, and they're employed on merit, and today they are on a payroll, they are working as a teacher, and they hear that they have done nothing. But that is the beauty of democracy. At the end of the day, we should know that we should not be peddling propaganda or lies, but speak things the way they are. You asked me about high cost of living, Mazaki Sinakane, Navomera. That is the way it is. That is how we should. Politics is the contestation of ideas. What is it that you are bringing on the table? What is your proposal? This is my proposal. We take it to the Zambian people. At the end of the day, Zambians will decide, oh, they mean well, but they don't mean well. Muna using a road ya nyowani, ya Fisenge Masangano Road. That road, Wazaki, there was no road to talk about because it was in a terrible state, deplorable state. Today, as we speak, if you've got a relative Vazaki Mundola and you are coming from Kitwe, Waguzana Pita Mundola. Me, I remember one time I was in Indola and I was to meet my brother who was coming from Kitwe. He told me, no, my brother, I don't have time to pass through Ndola. Buera pa Masangano. Meet me there. We met, we discussed. That is what a listening and working government is doing. Roads are being done in rural parts of Zambia. Roads are being done even in Lusaka. Lelo wazaki mkati mchoke pana tumufuno pite ku Lusaka Boys Secondary School mfuna mpitile kuja mkwele pa mshere muko paja. Ija road wapwanya wapanga. That is what the working government is doing. So we agree and let us meet on the ground. It is a contestation of ideas.
Let me give you some more. I've got a text message here on our 0955-221515. That's an SMS. It says, I'm Sylvester in Kapiri. On Cash for Work, what happened to those who didn't get paid their money? It is now 3 months. Okay. And let me see if I can give you some more calls. Good morning.
Good morning, Zachary.
Good morning, Dr. Proud.
Honorable Chifokolo Mwakabwani.
Taukabwina dogo tamwakabwani.
Tukuverana pa mwai wala ko Garden Road. Mwai wala ko Garden Road.
Munashita profesa ija.
Ija kai wana ko tuza titizayo tangombe. You know that Mandobu there is 8 councillors. Out of 80, only 2 are UPND. One is in Ngombe Mr. one is in Olympia. The whole compound including the Garden Miri Kunokurivatland, but it's much even than now under UPND government, the Pakatapanga Road. Ukaenda which has a stem. Kama itola with a stem. Ukabanana Chazanga never pay for Kweka. What do my own say? Ninal patrol market hapa Honorable Kelvin. We see DF shelter in Amangiwa since unique, but under cooperative market. But among a proper shelter, CDF is going to spend 100 days. Ngombe Zapanga. Kaiwana kutuza kidota ngombe. Ngombe Zapanga road 3 months. Garden road hiyo. Nampunga road, Mr. Kelvin. Yendani so ngombe Zipanga road. Zikaura, zilibize. Namvura futi zikachuka hapa zena mkulima. Milisi uliku. Hapa kuna kugade ni kunungawaze dene. Suyo mfiopo karibe na raini. Bantuwazi gurila. Mwambe na agula salaura mundu waenda abuelako. No, hivi ni kiu inasira. Kuka wewe ja pesta tu azatenga. Okuzasa chipiri azatipiri za futi. We should capture all the seats, Murosaka. We have been up a umea, Wabukanza. See one participate is the manifesto for UPND, Yamiri Buino. We can't relate to Rosaka is if at the food that in our city was Zankara one participate. No. Zambian people, they need development. You go to Matero, Tawama, MOP, Kapena, Namanja, Garikumariro. Tawama is more like it's a vacant seat. We want to capture that seat with no cost.
Thank you. Yeah.
To get an independence.
Ziko
Mamane wa badi da bazirila. Zako uwezi wana mukudusa. Aya wa kaiba tebo mwe zulumu. Kamu ya piyeta.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Prime. It's a call. I've got a couple of messages on Facebook, and I think I need to do justice and just go through them. I've got Niza Piri, who says the way political commentators like Chifokolo come out, hiding real issues of economic hardship and skyrocketing of foodstuffs on the market. Okay. Vinja Swale says, good morning, Mr. Chifokolo. To be honest, things are very bad for an ordinary Zambian. If you don't put things in order in 2026, you are going. People like Ntumba Chushi are just misleading you, Mr. Chifokolo. These are just praise singers. There is hunger and perseverance in this country. All right. Shaka Zulu says, two wrongs don't make a right, sir. UPND must learn from what the PF did. Imwe ni in and out. All right. Murumbeni Chirwa says, how can the UPND government credibly claim to be reforming Zambia when it has failed to resolve crippling load shedding, which President Hakainde Hichilema himself once attributed to poor leadership rather than climate change? Mismanaged billions in public funds, including unaccounted for 1.5 billion IMF bailout, and now another 1.5 billion loan, and worsening economic conditions while pushing unconstitutional legislation like Bill number 7 without public consultation or as corruption perception deepens, and the Financial Intelligence Center reports $3.5 billion illegally externalized in 2025 alone. All right. I still have a couple of them. This one is Mapulanga Kalungu. So Mapulanga Kalungu says 15 people following this program. It says a lot about what people feel and the caliber of your guest, Bwana Presenter. His presentation does not actually inspire us. The people feeling the heat from bad governance. People are tired of their lies day in, day out. Tell him to justify the 10-point plan and how many points have been fulfilled. All right. Malcolm says, does that man live in Zambia, or he is just talking from what he heard? The problem is that you don't actually want to be schooled as UPND. You just wait. You will cry. This is Malcolm from Mansa. Now, let me give you an opportunity to respond to those that you feel you need to respond from Facebook.
Well, Niza talked about not talking about the economic hardships. That is the problem. When you are listening, you've got divided opinions or minds. You want to concentrate on this, you want to concentrate on this. But Zach, we've talked about the economic hardships and we've acknowledged. You've said we need to do more. So if one comes, needs to say systematically, I don't want to talk about the economic hardships, then I think Vaniza swasensa matu yanga kumvera. Wasensa matu yao kumvera. So ngatsipana mvere vaina kamba. I think I've got very little to say or to do. Sylvester from Kapiri, cash for work. Yes, at the moment you are aware that it was suspended because of some issues that are there. And the Permanent Secretary for Administration, Gabriel Pollen, was talking about responding or addressing those challenges that have been identified in the implementation of cash for work. And I want to believe that those that worked were captured. Their details are there. And we'll continue to push the ministry or asking questions to the ministry, and these people have to be paid because they worked. So if they worked, others were paid, others have not been paid, they are going to be paid. So we are going to continue asking the ministry that when are you paying those people who were engaged to do cash for work? They worked, but they haven't been paid. And I know in Daramashenu, Sylvester, Ekoshava, once we have that information from the ministry that wakamba day akuti ukumi pere in Daramashenu, we'll come back here or we'll ask Vazaki to put it on their news and inform you that in Darameko Shiri, Mukapoka Pantu Nindaramashenu. Issues to do with Muzayan. It is a divided opinion. My brother, you can't just come and say, just wait, you will cry. All leaders are. Even in 2021, we were told that Mwaliberero Kulusa. And this time again, we are retiring HH for good. Mukalira. That is what we were told. A former minister was even saying, no, HH boy wachepa sana. Ube perefie. Today, who were pad between President Hakainde Hichilema and the bulldozer who said, who were perefie boy? Who were pad? President Hakainde Hichilema is in State House. As we speak, is having a meeting with Daniel Chapo, Mozambican president, who is in our country, leading a team, learning something from us, the Zambian people, or the Zambian government, what they have done. Today, as we speak, as I'm on the program, President Hakainde Hichilema is having a meeting with Daniel Chapo, who is leading a team of delegations. They are at State House. So we have divided opinions. You only have one voter's card. It's not that Mzaka vota kali 10 for you to say, wait, Mzalila. Olila sazivika. Olila samugwira pakama. Dr. Proud, yes, you are right. The Garden Road, which was in a deplorable state. Dr. Proud said, once we formed government, he wrote it as a concern. People looked at Dr. Proud as not being okay. Today, the narrative has changed. They are saying, now they have added another title to Dr. Proud. Now is called Prophet Proud, because he prophesied that that road was going to be done. And he has accepted that. I said he was a ngombe. Ngombe ndiye zipanga road. Ngombe zigaura road. Zikasiriza mvula ikamba kuloka, ngombe zenda na kufamu zilime. That is, we have accepted. When you say the problem, you don't want to be schooled. My brother, we have been schooled and we are still being schooled. If Anakaonga says tukakumana pa ground, well, let's just school. And we agree to say, okay, tukakumana. Vambi, baba kale pa ground, avena mwenda, avena pesi chato, krizosta, baba pa ground. So we learn. You talk about IMF, the economy. These are issues that are there. We have acknowledged, we have accepted, and the president and the cabinet are working so hard to respond to the issues of load shedding, the issues of high cost of living. It's not that, tualikosemi tueta tumfa, trebe mitu zankolokolo, timamvera, and that is why the president will listen and take action.
Well, we should be winding up our conversation for this morning, and I would like to probably give you an opportunity to speak your concluding remarks.
Thank you so much, Bazak, and thank you so much to 5FM Radio and your partner radio stations, those that have carried this program live in different, provinces, different districts. We really appreciate your support. President Hakainde Hichilema means well, and that is why he's working hard day and night to make sure that the promises we made, and even those that we did not even promise, are responded to. They are done and delivered to our people so that the high cost of living can be reduced. You saw what happened when he commissioned the plant at the United Capital Fertilizer. Again, that is something that people are saying Kuyabebe are not talking about. That the president went there. He witnessed and he commissioned. Where it is not just fertilizer, Azaki, si fertilizer yeka. But kuliko futi na mpamvu za magesi. 85 megawatts thermal power. Hapo 85, not ati bazambo panga ipangika. 45 ati itsenzese pa ndipanga fertilizer. I 40 pushing on national grid. Things are happening. The opposition, just the day before yesterday, the president was there. I'm not advertising, but Mwizi, your Trade Kings, he was there. We are the second country in Southern Africa, from South Africa, to be producing glucose. The entire Southern Africa, it was only South Africa. But today we have joined the bandwagon here in Southern Africa. Those Veneshaka, Veneniza, Swanga Kambe Bopaliv to say this is what this government is doing. Very soon, you'll be going to nitrogen chemicals. Kukafyuwe. Again, that is why Mulenga is able to tell you, say, Umufundo na alipoka kali, na alishita redeem. Because this is a working government. As we conclude, Mr. Zach, I want to urge Zambians, those that are of age, munasowesa ka vote card, kayasi munatengepo, voter registration is ongoing. Please, can you be captured? Go and register. Don't listen to these propagandists or hearsayers who are saying, wazi wa kudala wa vota. Iyai, ni ufuru wanu. It is your right. Go out there, register as a voter. It doesn't even take time. There are people that have walked in within minutes. They are captured. Wachoka mujana ka voters card. Ni ufuru wanu, ni mpamvu yanu. Pitani mukale mbese. Ile mbesheni mkusala kwa watu wamipereka voters card. Come 2026, you vote for Hakainde Hichilema, who has delivered and he has continued to show you that he's a listening president and he's a caring president. Allow me to thank the national chairman, the secretary general of the party, my media director, Max Muwe, not forgetting Gilbert Liswaniso, the national youth chairperson. Thank you so much. Azaki Ambuya Pitirizo Okala naimwe kukalaso ndi 5FM radio.
Thank you very much, and thank you for coming. And of course, to you, our listener, we appreciate your participation and your conversation. And of course, following our conversation here is your following our conversation is highly appreciated. And also would like to thank more sincerely our partner radio stations, Isunga FM radio, and we thank Tete FM, we thank Muchinga Radio, Tuta FM, ZFM, Platinum Radio, iWave FM. We also thank Spice FM, and also not forgetting the fact that you were following us on our Facebook page. We'll certainly be back next week, God willing, with yet another Tuesday and Thursday editions of the Burning Issue. From us all here, we are saying enjoy your independence celebrations and take care of yourselves and more so of each other. Bye-bye.
Tune in next week for another edition of The Burning Issue, and thank you for your participation.